Hello everyone and welcome back to Mix Best TV Mixing and Mastering Tutorials on YouTube. I'm your host David, and in this podcast I want to talk about something that is often overlooked by young singers and also those of you that do all by yourself, meaning recording and mixing maybe at home, maybe your own stuff or your friends. And the subject is the solution to solve 90% of the problems you can have with esses and harsh vocal recordings is not a new mic or a better mic. Is how hard a singer pushes S's and hard consonants, like T's and C's, while performing. That affects your end result much more than what microphone you use to capture the performance, regardless the price. I want to stress this, regardless the price, because even if you put a 5K microphone in front of a singer that delivers those sounds badly, even that expensive mic is not gonna play nice. Fortunately, nowadays, you can find high-quality, good-sounding mics for a tenth of the price you could 10 or 20 years ago. Take advantage of that and don't believe the hype. Don't believe you have to spend $6,000 to get results. You can if you want, of course, but you absolutely don't have to, especially if you're not running a commercial studio with 10 different clients a week coming in recording vocals. Disclaimer before I go ahead with this: good microphones are important, vital for a good recording. I'm not gonna state or assume the opposite. I personally don't track anymore, thank God, but I did it for many years, and yes, good mics are important. They do make a difference, and they are, in my opinion, the most important thing in your recording chain. With that said, your recording chain is only as strong as your weaker link, so yeah. But we are not talking about this today. Today, I want to talk about the performance itself and what I call the next level listening. Learning how to pay attention to details. Details that other people won't pay attention to. But you, as an engineer, have to. And you have to learn how to. And this is another good point. You do learn what to listen for, how to stay concentrated, and how to pay attention to the smallest detail. Some people are more inclined to be that way to begin with, but this is a skill. You learn how to do it. You improve with time and experience. So if you don't get it right away, don't get discouraged. It takes time. I get so many questions about microphones. Which mic should I buy? Which one would be the best for my voice? And sometimes these questions come from people that already have great mics, or good enough to get the results, or a big enough mic locker that would allow me to make any vocal work. So in most cases, I realize the problem many of you run into is not the gear, is not the mic or the preamp or the next hype thingy in the pro audio gear marketing list, is the performance, and in particular, for singers, how they deliver S's and hard consonants. And the real problem is either the singer and or the recording engineer or the producer, if there's one, are not addressing this at the source, realizing that there is actually a way to work the mic, quotes, in the case of the singer, or telling the singer, in the case of the engineer/producer. Finding the right mic for a given vocal is important, as different mics handle S's and hard consonants in different ways, some better than others. But I know that a large mic locker is not always an option. And what I see many people end up doing is to constantly selling and buy microphones, different brands, different models, new ones, old ones, while if they adjusted the performance by watching the way a singer pushes his or her S's, that would solve, like I said, 90% of the problems with S's and hard-sounding vocals, which require a ridiculous amount of processing at the mix stage. My point is, you get a 5K microphone and you put it in front of a singer that is wild with his S's and T's and K's, and I can assure you no mic will handle that well. And you will have the same problems if you had a $500 mic instead of a $5,000 mic. And especially if you're recording your own stuff, you don't get exposed to a lot of different performances and different vocalists. Yes, you can hear the end result of a commercial product, but you don't know how the raw take sounded. For example, at the moment I'm working on 3 different projects. All 3 are rock, and all 3 are male singers, and all 3 have been recorded in the same studio with the same mic, same chain, by the same engineer. So only the performer is the variable. I've been sent these tracks to mix 2 singles, 1 album. I was working on the album already, but the singles had a closer deadline, so I had to switch to those. And that's where I got the inspiration for this podcast, because given the same chain, one of the singers was amazing with his delivery, very smooth S's, very smooth consonants, beautiful. All I had to do really was a little bit of deessing, but that was only needed after some other processing. The second singer was okay, a bit harsh at times when he pushed choruses and really got into it, but it didn't require anything out of the ordinary, processing-wise. I had to do regular work on this one, deessing, a bit of multiband compression that you guys know I love for vocals, low passing a bit, then bringing some air back, regular stuff. But one of these singers was really bad with his S's and hard sounds, and I realized it was just lack of studio experience. He just didn't know better. He just didn't think about it. You could tell he had no idea that you actually have to watch how you pronounce words while you sing, and how much you push those hard sounds and S's because you have a high sensitive membrane few inches in front of you picking up the signal. And I noticed in the course of the years that some people have some sort of natural smoothness in their voice even when they talk, and some other people don't. But even if they don't have that natural smoothness to begin with, good singers with a lot of studio experience know that the way they deliver those sounds is important, while some other singers with less experience have no idea, and they think the mixing engineer will fix everything, and that's normal, that's the way it's done. Well, guess what? Most likely the mixing engineer, is going to have to do pretty much the same amount of work on a given vocal. Maybe more or less deessing, but still deessing. Maybe more or less automation, but still automating. Same for multiband compression or EQ. I mean, in the end, I will most likely spend the same amount of time on a vocal whether the delivery is smooth or not. But the end result is not going to be the same. The singer is what makes the result better or worse, because I'm going to mix in the same way. I have the same skills, the same ears. Whether or not I'm going to be able to do what I want to do with the vocals, in the end it will depend on how good the performance is. That's going to be my ceiling for how great the vocal is going to sound in the mix. And that's really the point I want to take you home today. Before going to buy another mic, a new mic, a more expensive mic, assess how the performance is. And if you or the singer are not aware of the fact that you have to pay attention to how you deliver those harsh and hard sounds, pay attention to it, or make the singer pay attention to it. It's probably gonna be a bit more work, but I can assure you, you will feel like you already have the mic you've been looking for ages. And I know that when a performer sings, he or she doesn't want to think about the technical stuff, but that's why there's such a thing as training, so that the technical stuff becomes second nature when it's time to deliver the performance in the studio. That's why studio experience is so very important for singers. That's why practicing is important. And most singers only focus on pitch and lyrics and high notes, and all that is good and is important, of course. But how to deliver a performance in front of a studio mic, not live, is as important, if not more. Even because a live act is over when it's over. A recording will be there forever. So you might want to practice that. And of course, I have to say that mic positioning is important, room is important, etc. But before all that, there is the delivery. So before buying new stuff, make sure you pay attention to these things and did the best you can, or make the singer do the best they can. Then you will know for sure if the mic you're using is handling those harsh frequencies badly, and you need to look out for a different one. And that's a wrap. This is it for this video. Podcast, I should say. I hope it was informative and I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to click the like button and share the video around. Leave your comments and questions down below. Join us on Facebook and Twitter to stay in touch with us. Get all the news about the channel, upcoming videos and series, and access to exclusive content. We have some cool videos in there. Please keep supporting Mixbus TV by sharing the videos and spreading the word on blogs, social media, forums. Subscribe if you haven't already, and see you next time.